name is Knyaz, and today we're gonna watch the Drunk Magnus game, where Magnus played drunks in a game that got viral. So let's see this game. First it was Magnus' friend Lucky Driver. The format is, and then Magnus joins in. The format is a bullet 30 seconds game, so let's start. The bishop on the king's side. Opponent just blunders his pawn. He gives away another pawn to the opponents, but if he takes it, he'll take full control of the center with the queen. If he takes on the other side, he'll take full control with the bishop, developing the pieces. Okay, so it's not that bad. The opponent moves forward to avoid being eaten for free. And the friend of Magnus just blocks the pawn. The opponent protects the pawn. And the friend of Magnus blunders his knight. Free knight. And instead of taking the pawn, he moves forward with his queen, blundering another pawn. And here, Magnus Carlsen joins, and as you saw, takes the pawn, saves his friend. And now, let the madness begin. So opponents brings up the queen. Magnus defends with his queen. Opponents takes a free pawn and gives his queen away. Can't believe that's a 2400 player. Maybe he was also drunk or just didn't look in a 30-second game. So now the rook takes the free queen, obviously. Now the knight goes forward, just to develop pieces. He moves the pawn forward. Opponents attacks the Magnus Carlsen's queen. And Magnus blunders his queen. Tries to attack the knight, but doesn't see that the queen is pending. And the opponent takes back with a smart move Magnus's queen. Drunk Magnus's. Magnus takes the knight. Opponent protects his pawn from being captured, but it's getting captured anyways. Opponent takes the other pawn. Opponent moves just the pawn forward. Opponents move the knight on the side. What happened? Why does he do this? Instead of taking the pawn or at least trying something, doesn't do anything or trying to protect the pawn. And Magnus moving forward with the knight taking the free pawn. And the opponents blunders a fork. It's a fork with a free rook. And opponents moved out the piece that was protecting the knight from doing the fork. So now let's move forward. Opponents just gives his knight away. And instead of taking it, Magnus just moves a pawn. He protects the knight to stop the fork. But Magnus decided to make the fork, but that's too late. And the opponent takes the horse, and let's move forward. Moving forward the pawn, okay. Maybe he wants to promote to a queen. Blocking with the bishop. Trading bishops. Moving the king on the side, blocking the development of the bishop. Moving the rook. Moving the king back. Attacking with the pawn forward. Blocking everything, and goes with the rook forward. Blocks the rook from taking the free pawn. Takes the free pawn anyways, but is protected by the bishop, so they just trade rooks. And Magnus wins a pawn. Moving on, another pawn. Moving back the bishop. Trading pawns. Moving a pawn forward. Moving the king in the middle to protect these two pawns. Blocking the king. Moving the rook forward and checking with the protection of a pawn. Okay, he doesn't take the free pawn. Moving the bishop, restricting the king's movement. Okay, he gives his rook away, but Magnus doesn't take it. He takes the free pawn, protecting the king. Magnus makes a check. Only 3 seconds left. And the opponent protects with the bishop. Magnus does a beautiful fork, and the opponent just runs away with the king. Magnus takes the bishop for free. Opponent gives his rook away in a trade. And now Magnus just moves forward with the king and the pawns. 1 second left, and checkmate! A beautiful win by Magnus Carlsen. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day. See you soon. Like, subscribe, comment how did you find the game, and nice win for the drunk Magnus. See you soon in the next video. And don't drink.